Good evening, San Antonio, and welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. You can follow the station, Twitter, Threads, Instagram. You can comment along on our YouTube Live. They are all, including TikTok, at SA Sports Star. I am at I Am Pleasure on all formats of social media. Thanks for tuning in with me as we get you through the rest of your day. Lots going on today. Of course, Cowboys had their State of the Cowboys address, which is always a good time. Let you know what's the latest with Zach Martin, but it was the breaking news that came in right as the blitz goes off the air is Justin Herbert is now the third quarterback this offseason to be resetting the market at quarterback. Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, take note. First, it was Lamar Jackson, first it was Jalen Hurts, 5 years, $255. Then it was Lamar Jackson, 5 years, $260. Oh, Justin Herbert. I'm telling you, 5 years, $262.5. He is now tied to the Chargers through the 2029 season. Chargers got the deal done before their first training camp practice tomorrow. That is great for the Chargers, actually, because it is a narrative, a storyline, everything now disappears, speak English, and they can focus on camp, getting Quentin Johnston up to speed with the offense, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. Let's face it, the biggest bugaboo for the Chargers, and it has been for as long as I can remember, has been injury. That team cannot stay healthy for whatever reason. And it's always injuries that plague them. Joey Bosa, J.C. Jackson, they signed him to a massive deal. He doesn't make it through the season. Rashawn Slater, their offensive tackle, they've just had so many injury issues with that team. And if they could stay relatively healthy for a season, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler each dealt with injuries of their own. Man, they could be a force and a threat within the AFC and actually challenge the Kansas City Chiefs. If you pay attention to AFC West football, those games between the Chiefs and Chargers usually pretty tight and down to the wire. The Chargers can play with the Chiefs. So if they manage to maintain health for a year, sky's the limit for that team. And now that Justin Herbert's under contract, looking at you, Joe Burrow, looking at you, Dak Prescott. And I imagine Dak's probably going to try and do the same thing he just did. 4 years, get back to the market as quick as he can to get one long deal after he finally gets this next shorter big deal. But it is set. 262.5. That is over the period of 5 years. And I'm just going to bust out my calculator right here. 262.5 divided by 5. That is $52.5 million per season. That is the new quarterback rate. And Patrick Mahomes is content where he's at so far, while the market around him keeps shooting upwards. It's going to be very tough to build a team. And man, I look at Justin Herbert's mega deal and think about what Dak Prescott's likely to command. Probably, I would imagine, between 45 and 50 million, if we're being honest. That is why Zach Martin's coming to the table. He, in the tweet that Adam Schefter quote, woefully underpaid. And he is, because he did a 6-year deal in interest of helping the Cowboys. Now it's time for the Cowboys to help Zach Martin because he played the part of the good soldier. He played through injury. He has maintained his level of play. He has gone about his work. And now he wants you to at least acknowledge him and the fact that he is woefully underpaid for what he does. The only offensive lineman to get a 99 Madden rating. Pro Football Focus, he is the highest graded offensive lineman. He is the rock of the offensive line. I think it's imperative they get a deal done with him. So all of a sudden, you're paying Zach Martin, you're paying Dak Prescott, you're paying CeeDee Lamb, you're paying Trayvon Diggs, and you're paying Micah Parsons. 5 players going to command about half of your salary cap, and remember, we talked about this with RJ Ochoa. This is kind of it. You hand select about, I believe the number he said was 7 to 9 players. 7 to 9 players that you kind of build your team around and fill out the rest of your roster. And if you think about it, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Joe Thuney, who they spent a lot of money on in free agency, and they decided not to pay Orlando Brown Jr. top of the market, and instead went just a little under the top of the market with a Juwan Williams at tackle. That's where their money is tied up right now for the Chiefs. And you can look across the league, it's all the same, and especially if you're paying a quarterback, it affords you less to be able to allocate to the rest of your roster. It's just economics. You have a hard cap, you build your roster the best way you can, and you need elite talent to win in the NFL, so you have to pay some top of market value in some type of way. This is the NFL we live in. And Stephen Jones talked about it during the State of the Cowboys and how the league has changed because it was the running backs getting the money and the notoriety and had all of the glory. But that's recently changed.
Yeah, well, I think first of all, our league evolves, and Mike and I were just talking about it, in the room before we came out here, and this is a quarterback-driven league now, and obviously throwing the ball is a big part of this game. You get down to the 2-minute, you got to be able to throw the ball. It used to be 20 years ago, it was revolved around a running back. The running back may have been more important than the quarterback. Obviously, this franchise has had some of the best running backs, in the league. When you look at Tony Dorsett, you look at Emmitt Smith, you look at Zeke Elliott. We've had, great running backs here and great respect for that position. I will say this about Tony. We offered Tony a long-term deal. The same holds true for tight end. We offered Schultz a long-term deal, and we didn't agree. The reason you don't agree is they won't a bit less, and you agree to disagree, and then they go on and they play under the tag. That's obviously Tony signed his tag, and he's going to do that. And certainly Dalton Schultz made that decision, and that's part of the negotiation and part of the system that's in place. It's a free market out there. There are mechanisms in place that allow teams to hold a player a year called the franchise tag, and we certainly utilize that, but nothing but respect for the running backs. We've had, as I said, we've had some of the great ones and paid them at the top of the market, and certainly we tried to make a deal with Tony. It wasn't something that worked for either one of us, so we're going to play under the tag this year and respect that, and we'll see where we end up going forward.
It's the way of the world. The running backs, they aren't getting paid. And it's 2 factors. One of the factors is it is a position that does not slowly decline. as most Cowboy fans saw with Ezekiel Elliott. It is a sharp off the cliff fall. It is not gradual. When it goes, it goes. And you don't want to extend people too long, have that cliff come, and then you're stuck on the back end of something. The other part is there's a plethora of running backs out there. You see it every year in the league. Tyler Algiers comes out. Next year, they Falcons have Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier, and Bijan Robinson in their backfield. Cam Akers. You can find your diamonds in the rough. Kenneth Walker. Breece Hall. Dameon Pierce. Speaking of which, a little fantasy advice for some of y'all. I don't know, just keep an eye. Keep an eye. Maybe if in a deep dynasty keeper league, Xavier Valade. I don't know. In the zone system, I really like him. Saw him at Arizona State, undrafted free agent. Runs like Arian Foster. What say you on our YouTube live feed? SB2350 says Dak needs to make it to an NFC championship game this year or else someone else can pay him. A lot of Cowboy fans are starting to turn towards the Dak needs to prove it in the playoffs route. One of those being Jason Minix himself. He equated him to James Harden not too long ago. Just in terms of lack of playoff success. Frank Botello says they hope they pay him $60 million a year. Joshua Jimenez on our YouTube live feed says guards are an important position. The Chiefs decided to go get a top tackle because a great guard helps the offense, or let go of a top tackle because guards help the offense. Yes, they paid Joe Thuney and they decided, Orlando Brown, we can replace you with not the elite of the elite, the top of the top, but the next level down. Juwan Johnson, who played well this past season protecting Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see what happens in Kansas City this year, but Joe Thuney, they decided to spend a lot of money on a free agent guard a couple of years ago. BroGamer123 says Dak needs to be in Jerry's office and get Zach Martin a contract. We'll talk more about this as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. And of course, your phone calls are welcome at 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. So much great news. We've got this Justin Herbert domino that just fell. We had the state of the Cowboys. CJ Stroud is officially under contract. The Texans start practice tomorrow. The Cowboys start as well. Look, training camp is here. Football season is here. Brock Purdy is healthy and ready to go to start camp, which if you saw that injury when it happened during the playoffs, I don't think any of us expected that. More with Extra Innings coming up right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's 1,400 miles to training camp. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Beginning Monday, the guys are on the road again. This time, San Antonio Sports Star travels to Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California.
Deep down the right side. Oh, it's caught.
With the full support of AA Best Bail Bonds, provided for any of those things that happen while on the road. Nobody provides better coverage of training camp than 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
We'll hear from the players, coaches, be right in the middle of the media frenzy, and of course, hear from owner Jerry Jones.
We get to suck on that all week.
It's Cowboys Training Camp, live from Oxnard, California. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Texas Cheer Liquor, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and sasportstar.com.
If you're hit by a car, truck, or commercial vehicle, you need help with vehicle repairs, car rental, medical care, Davis Law Firm can help get your life back on track. For over 25 years, we have secured important verdicts and settlements for our clients, some in the millions of dollars. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car, or truck wreck, or hit by a commercial vehicle, call the Fours right now. Call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course, I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are one of the boldest, protein-packed, and low-carb snacks out there. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, you'll want to stock up on Southern Recipe small batch at your local H-E-B. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Find your flavor at southernrecipesmallbatch.com. Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Are you feeling overwhelmed after your car wreck? Call the wreck experts at Hilly and Solis. Hey, it's Rudy J, and I want you to know that Hilly and Solis understand the physical and emotional and financial toll that car wrecks have on your life. They're going to listen to your story, answer any questions you may have, and they're going to fight hard to get you all the compensation you so deserve. They've seen it all. They're former prosecutors, and they know how to win. When the medical bills and the insurance claims and the legal complexities leaving you feeling lost, Hilly and Solis are going to guide you every single step of the way, and they're going to hire not only the top medical, but also the top technical experts to support your claim. Time is of the essence. Their deadlines to file claims. Don't wait to get the legal help you need. Hilly and Solis are experienced litigators. Let them fight for your rights and financial freedom. Call Hilly and Solis for a free, no obligation consultation now. 210-762-61. That's 210-762-6261. 210-762-6261.
Principal office in San Antonio, Texas. Message brought to you by a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Rudy J from R&R in the Morning. Join us weekday morning, 6 to 10. We'll have plenty of sports and good fun right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. Of course, the big breaking news. The top of the hour, we find out Justin Herbert has inked a 5-year, $262.5 million extension, keeping him with the Los Angeles Chargers through the 2029 season. What does that mean for Dak? What does that mean for Joe Burrow? What does that mean for the future of the quarterback position in the NFL as it pertains to the salary cap? Tons and tons of questions to be asked there. But most of today has been focused on the Cowboys, as well it should. State of the Cowboys address. And running back Tony Pollard, the franchise tag, what's going on with all relevant conversations, Austin Eckler in the Zoom call, speaking of Justin Herbert. But earlier today, and if you've missed anything, go to our audio vault at sasportstar.com. The Blitz had Kevin Von Erich on earlier today for all you wrestling fans. I know he is a legend, actually moving back out to Bernie and going to be here in town doing stuff. Very cool. But the Blitz was joined by Shireen Williams, and Jason has the same question about the running back group as it consists as I do.
Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us here on the Blitz. Shireen, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys as training camp is underway, and it's some of the questions that we have talked about all offseason, there's still questions as they start training camp. Kicker is still a very fluid situation. in the running back room. They didn't add anybody yet, right? Do you think they will start the season with the running backs, a group that they currently have in Oxnard?
100% no, and if they do, I think they're in big trouble.
100% no, and if they do, they're in big trouble. They went on to talk about Zeke Elliott and the possibility of his return and how this is basically boiling down to money. And the closer we get to the start of the season, maybe the more he swallows his pride and lowers his asking price, and the Cowboys and him can actually come to an agreement and bring him back into the locker room. Because here's the main thing that I see on this roster. I don't see a blocking back. I don't see a guy that there is any trust in picking up a blitz or a free rusher or any of the things that Zeke did so well that we chastised him for a little bit when he was being overpaid to do those things. But if you get him on the right deal, you need that on your team. You do. Joshua Menace on our YouTube live feed says it's going to be a great year in Houston. I hope so. But if they get even 7 wins, I'll be happy. Rangers, Astros, game 2 next. Rangers only a 2-game lead now.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments.